Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. We begin where updates are coming from the Super Eagles camp in Tangier, Morocco, where it's a full house now. After Ighalo and John Noble joined the camp for tomorrow's match against Liberia.
And the comeback eagle, talking about Ighalo, he's finally in camp and everyone is waiting and anticipating to see what's going to happen against Liberia tomorrow, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Also on the program, well, we have the first qualifier for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, and no other team than Brazil. They are through to the World Cup after beating Colombia by a lone goal. That was enough for them to seal a spot from South America.
There you go. That's the first qualifiers from South America. CONMEBOL, the Samba boys of Brazil dancing their way to Qatar next year. Also on the program, this time around, Andy Murray, the run is over in Stockholm after losing to Tommy Paul in the quarterfinals. This is quite surprising because it's coming on the back of Andy Murray taking out the top seed in Yannick Sinner. Cecilia, did you see this one coming?
I didn't see it at all. After taking out Yannick Sinner, I felt this is going to be a good run for him. But somehow he couldn't reach the semi-final. And I can't remember the last time he got to the semi-final. Since 2019, he hasn't been to an ATP Tour semis. So quarterfinals exit again for Andy Murray. But we're not starting with Andy Murray this morning. We're starting with the NBA. And of course, just 3 games decided early hours today. And of course, you have the Philadelphia 76ers in action and some other teams in action. But then, 76ers, somehow, just 3 games.
Yeah, 76ers, we'll come back to them. They lost again. We all know their issues are well documented. But before then, let's start with the Clippers and the Miami Heat. Ended 112 to 109 in favor of LA. After losing the first 4 games of the season, the LA Clippers are on a roll. Paul George, 27 points. Reggie Jackson, 22 points, all coming in the second half as they hung on to defeat the Miami Heat 112 to 104 for their 6th straight victory. Wow.
Yeah. Despite the fact they have Bam Adebayo scoring a season high of 30 points, 11 rebounds, but then it wasn't enough for the Heat, who dropped their 3rd straight game and 4 out of 5.
The Miami Heat are they in a bit of a trouble right now. They're going to need to snap out of that losing streak. Let's move over to the Raptors and the 76ers. Like Cecilia was saying earlier, the 76ers ended up on the losing side again, 115 to 109. Gary Trent Jr. and Fred VanVleet making back-to-back threes over the final 1 minute and 10 seconds to lift the Raptors over the Philadelphia 76ers, who are still missing Joel Embiid, Isaiah Joe, and Matisse Thybulle. So that's how they've ended up losing that game against all those players.
Their 3rd straight loss in a row. And not just that, Tobias Harris and Seth Curry, they're back into the squad, but that just wasn't enough for them because you still have the key players you mentioned earlier are not there. Because for the Raptors, they had good players who had to put some numbers. Fred VanVleet, for instance, 32 points. Gary Trent, 20 points. OG Anunoby also having 20 points for the Raptors.
What about Precious?
Precious Achiuwa also contributing.
Precious, I think he finished with about 4 points. Not a great shooting night at all. He's going to have to step up big time. Poor shooting night for Precious Achiuwa, the Tigers. Forward boy still learning. It will get better with all of these games coming as well. Last but not the least is the Pacers against the Utah Jazz. Surprisingly, Indiana with Malcolm Brogdon scoring a season-high 30 points and grabbing 9 rebounds to lead the Pacers. So 111 to 100 victory over the Utah Jazz, thus ending their perfect home record. Cecilia, I never saw that one coming.
This season, I never saw it coming at all because for Jazz, 8-4 this season, a remarkable one, losing against Indiana Pacers, you won't see that. But then the reason may be because Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell were actually ejected in the 4th quarter alongside teammate Joe Ingles and also Indiana's Miles Turner. So this game more like a game whereby some key players were ejected in the 4th round. Maybe if Rudy Gobert has played all through, it's maybe. Yeah, that's maybe. But at the end of the day, give it to Indiana Pacers, credit to them because they were led by Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm, he had a season high of 30 points for them in that game. Okay.
All right, so let's take a look at our top performers before we leave the NBA and move on to tennis. Let's start with Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors. He was on fire in their victory over the 76ers. 32 points, 6 rebounds and 7 assists for Fred Van Vliet. Also making the top performer shortlist is Tyrese Maxey for the second time for the Philadelphia 76ers. 33 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Talk about making good use of the opportunity to play without Ben Simmons. The 76ers just have to make a decision on Ben Simmons ASAP so the team can move forward. The guy playing in place of him right now is doing very, very well. Bam Adebayo was also a standout performer for the Miami Heat. Unfortunately, was in a losing effort. 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 steal. And last but not the least is Malcolm Brogdon of the Indiana Pacers. 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists in their stunning win over the Utah Jazz. Cecilia, that's it for basketball.
That's for the NBA.
Let's go to the tennis court in Stockholm.
Yeah, before we go to tennis court, let's talk Nigerian basketball quickly.
Okay, all right then, fair enough.
Yeah, we just got some news coming from the Nigerian Premier Basketball. It's starting today, and we have the group games and also for the fixtures for today. For the group games, you have the Group A and the Group B. And, of course, you have Rivers Hoopers, who happens to be the team to beat in this one. They are in Group A alongside a team like... teams like Benue Braves. Yeah, Benue Braves is part of that squad. Police Baton, and of course you have Gombe Bulls also in Group A. And in Group B, where you have the Savannah Conference winners, talking about Kano Pillars, Lagos Islanders, Koro Falcons, and Nigeria Customs. Let's take a look at how the games are starting today. 10 a.m. That's when it's starting. The first game is starting 10 a.m. in Abuja.
It's going to be between Kano Pillars and Lagos Islanders as the first matchup on Friday, later today. I mean, not too far off from tip-off right now between Kano Pillars and Lagos Islanders. There's also Koro Falcons versus Customs. Gombe Bulls will take on Police Baton, while Rivers Hoopers, one of the favorites, or arguably the favorites for the Final 8, will be taking on Benue Braves to see how brave they are against the favorites of the competition. All right, so those are fixtures for today. Fixtures for Saturday as well, too, on your screen there, Cecilia.
Benue Braves, Gombe Bulls, Lagos Islanders, Koro Falcons, Police Baton, and Rivers Hoopers. You also have Customs and Kano Pillars for Saturday. Therefore, Sunday, the final games will be between Benue Braves, Police Baton, Islanders, Customs, and Kano Pillars. You have Koro Falcons, Rivers Hoopers, and Gombe Bulls. And after that, the final 2 that will emerge from this group will now be the ones to play the final. And, of course, the winner, obviously, will represent Nigeria at the Basketball Africa League next year.
All right, fingers crossed. We wish all of the teams all the best in this competition as they battle for the final 8. Okay,
let's leave Andy Murray and quickly talk about the ATP finals. Yes, ATP finals, where you have Novak Djokovic has been drawn alongside Stefanos Tsitsipas in that 4-man green group. That's ATP finals that's kicking off this weekend. There you have all of them.
Green group. Novak Djokovic, world #1, will be looking to match Roger Federer's record of 6 ATP finals title. He's going to be taking on Stefanos Tsitsipas, Andrei Rublev, and Casper Ruud. While in the red group, you have number 2, Daniel Medvedev, first of all, then Alexander Zverev, Matteo Berrettini, and Hubert Hurkacz, who is representing the great Polish nation. Djokovic, like I said, is on 5 titles and will look to match Federer's 6 when the competition starts in Milan, or Turin, rather, from November the 14th. And will run through November the 21st. For Medvedev, he's the defending champion. Let's not forget, after claiming the title last year with a perfect 5-0 record. Still, I remember that record included wins over world #3, Djokovic, Nadal, and Dominic Thiem, the top 3 players at the time.
At the time. So that's
incredible. Never happened before.
Never happened. I don't think it's going to have the opportunity because Zverev is in top form. Of course, Djokovic is another player that is in top form, so it's going to be hard for him to be able to win it. Well, fingers crossed.
You never know.
Okay, you never know,
you never know, Cecilia.
Okay, fingers crossed. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, we'll leave tennis now and want to come home to talk about para-sport. And it's all about the RPC football team. They're still trying to get money to attend the Nations Cup. But before we do that, just enjoy some highlights coming from our Stockholm Open. Welcome back. Time to talk about amputee football, and we have a para-sports promoter in the studio, Fred. There is also former chairman of Sports Writers Association Lagos chapter. He's right here in the studio to tell us update if the players, the team, have been able to get any support, you know, for them to be able to take part at the Nations Cup that is starting on the 26th of this month. But they're still in Lagos training at the National Stadium. Fred, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning. Nice to be here. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you. Good news for us.
So do we have good news, or we're still doing GoFundMe or something?
Well, okay, we're not doing GoFundMe anymore.
Okay, why?
We set up a GoFundMe. The GoFundMe platform was actually set up by our player in Arsenal, Mike Ighalo. You know, he's supposed to be part of the team, but we're looking for money, so we can't even be talking about bringing our foreign-based players. We have a lot of them, you know, in England, in Poland, in Turkey, in Germany. You know, some of them are the highest goal scorers in their club, in their leagues, but we're not even talking about them.
When you can't deal with.
So Mike set up a GoFundMe to support the team locally. This is the national team, and we understood that the government wasn't too comfortable with it, and so they called us and advised that, we should actually re-engage the ministry, you know, to discuss this. So we are in that re-engagement. The Honorable Minister sent a number of people, and they're working with the team.
Okay.
The team now is in camp at the National Institute for Sports, training at the Legacy pitch. You know, with the little that we've been able to raise locally, you know, so we're able to provide sometimes 2 meals a day for them. You know, that's another matter. But the point really is that we're looking for tickets. The minister is seeming to suggest that he would do everything possible to make sure that this team gets the ticket to go to Tanzania for not just the Nations Cup, but, you know, it's a World Cup qualifier. So that's the assurance that we have. The other Honorable Minister is showing from what we are, you know, from the feelers we're getting, some sympathy, commitment, and all that. So that's where we are. So we're just waiting. Nothing assured, but we are happy that at least we are talking.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it's starting on the 26th, and we know that Nigeria is in Group D with Ghana, Egypt, and they're just 3 teams. What are the chances of this? Because, fine, we're still looking for tickets and everything, but with the ministry coming in, so we have the assurance that, yes, Nigeria obviously want to go. See,
at a point, we had about 2 amputees outside Nigeria, you know, at a point. That was before 2018.
Okay.
In 2018, we struggled. We were in this same situation. We were in this same studio to raise money for the World Cup. Now, after the World Cup, we were bashed at the World Cup in our first game because see, we couldn't go with our complete team. First of all, just about 5 people arrived Mexico first. The team is supposed to be 7, and 5 people was the coach and 4 players. You know, so the next day, some 2 other players arrived because we were releasing them in batches as ticket and money came and all that. So we didn't have a complete team. Brazil beat us silly, you know. But after that first game, when the complete team arrived, we beat Salvador. Salvador was a World Cup winner. We beat them, and then we drew many other games. When we came back from Mexico, when they came back, I didn't go. When they came back from Mexico, we headed for the Nations Cup in Angola.
Right.
You know, Angola was world champion in Mexico, but we fought our way all through to the finals, and it took Angola, you know, just a little to defeat us in that finals.
So we are
second in Africa, and after that, almost 4 of our players from that team are now playing in European clubs. They've been engaged by European clubs. So it shows you just how good we are. The issue is, yes, we can be good, but, you know, when we don't prepare well, you know, the boys are in camp, the conditions are not just right.
Right.
But they want it. And that's why they're making a lot of sacrifice, because they see the opportunity there. They want to assess that opportunity. So they just say, just get us tickets. You know, we will go. You know, we will manage what you are giving to us to eat now. Let's be out there. Because the visibility at the Nations Cup, the visibility at the World Cup, because the World Cup is in Turkey next year, that is what will give them the opportunity to get to the land of their dreams. That's right. And, you know, when we talk about para sports, these are just the opportunities they have to live a good life. Because in the country here, we don't have as much platform to sustain professional sports career for para-sports people. So that is the issue.
Big issues, indeed, and from all of you, what you've said, these guys have been able to achieve a lot in spite of all of the challenges and difficulties that they're facing. We're just hoping that we don't want to come back here again ahead of the World Cup specifically and talking about the same issues again. Mexico was how many years ago, and we're still talking.
Yeah, 2018.
We don't want to talk about those issues anymore. We just hope that by next week, I mean, the ministry and everything, they'll release the funds
we'll worry a bit because, you know, as it gets closer, the ticket gets higher.
Yeah,
they will afford it as the government.
ASAP.
Thank you so much, Fred, for coming on the program.
Guys, come on.
The next thing we want to hear is the good news that the ticket has been
We're
bought.
trusting that the Honourable Minister will help.
I hope they
Hopefully.
can. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the CAF Women's Champions League. The chances of Rivers Angels making it to the semi-finals, though it's very slim.
In football, anything can happen. It's not mathematics that say 1 + 1 is 2. In football, 1 + 1 is 11. So even more than 11. So we only pray for luck. At the end of the day, I will hope the luck will be on our side. For now, the players are not tired. Even in the second match, they were not tired. They just luck that they're not on our side. The match of tomorrow, they are not tired. We are prepared for that. And there's no excuse as concerns tiredness at that level.
My opinion about tomorrow's match is, as a player, individually and collectively, our team, we would approach the match with all determination. We just have to go out there and put in our best, play football as it's meant to be, and come to the stadium with the hope of winning and winning well.
Yeah, that's Edwin Okon, the coach of Rivers Angels, and also Deborah Abiodun, that's a midfielder talking ahead of the game. And Edwin Okon, you just heard him saying, football is no mathematics, so anything can happen. Hopefully they can score up to 5 and be able to win. But we have a guest in the studio.
I was going to add something to that, but first of all, Jide, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Great to be back.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Cecilia.
Yeah. Okay,
no, I'm going to add something before we move on to our guest, Sam. The coach just said football is not mathematics, right? We agree, but they're going to be needing a lot of mathematics to advance today.
Yes,
unfortunately.
They will need like that. They will need like more like 5 goals without conceding.
Then you have to think about what the other team is doing as well. Then you have to do.
I don't know why they got themselves in this position in the first place.
And they lost. That's the reason they got.
That's the reason. Straightforward. They lost 2 games in a row.
Let's go straight to Samuel to quickly talk about this. Here we have games for today, and also the games that were played yesterday. But Sam Amanda will be joining us this morning. Sam, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah, good morning, Sissy. Good morning, Taya. Great to be part of this morning show.
Great to have you.
Great to have you. There's a lot of mathematics. I mean, everyone has been trying to figure out how Rivers Angels will be able to qualify for the semi-finals. Yes, it's a tough one. But then, looking at the group, what it's looking like after conceding 4, not scoring any, also losing their first 2 games. So it's definitely going to be a difficult call for them.
Yeah, no doubt. An uphill task at the moment. Well, they won't have come into the competition looking like things will not go things will go this way, but unfortunately it is. And now what matters most is getting themselves out of this difficult situation. I think at this point, after 2 defeats, you only can hope, besides just avoiding crashing out of the tournament without a win, it's important they look best. They can grant the result, at least get the maximum points against the Higa Queens. Definitely not going to be easy, but how they get to win and also the manner of how they get to win the game is also important. So I think based on our calculations and also permutations being done, I think we expect they should be able to get at least a 3-0 win, nothing less than a 3-goal margin being the advantage they should open against the Higa Queens. And hopefully we see Mamelodi Sundowns beating Aspar of Morocco on the other hand. So I think no hope is lost yet. We just have to really keep our faith high and at least hope they'll be able to come out of this quagmire. Unfortunate we've seen ourselves in this situation, and I just hope the guests are also mentally recovered from those disappointing losses they've suffered.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case. Also interesting to listen to the coach talk about how tiredness is not a problem. I mean, that's been talked about by a lot of people because of the travel issues that they ran into going to Egypt. But the coach says that the girls are not tired, and that's not why they've lost the first 2 games. And he also listened as well to Deborah Abiodun. She seems pretty confident that they can get the job done today. But of course, the fate's still going to be depending on what happens in the other game between Sundowns and Asfa.
Yeah, basically, we saw what happened yesterday between the 2 final group games in Group A. No one would have anticipated not seeing Wadi Degla, who had a very fantastic opening start to the competition, and now crashing out as hosts. And, you know, Malabo, yes, Monday did manage to even grab out a point. You know, it's interesting to see that, yes, teams really are showing that momentum. They know they are champions of their own various zone and definitely won't come to be run over by any other team. So I think it's still pretty much open. Anything could possibly happen. This is football. And I think one just can't wait to keep our fingers crossed and see who does it better. At least we expect so much from Rivers Angels, and we believe they should be able to really work out something out of this game. So it's been an interesting competition we've seen so far, and I believe there's still a lot more to watch out for from these teams, especially Rivers Angels.
Rivers Angels versus Viagra Queens, and Mamelodi Sundowns versus Asfa of Morocco. As it is right now, Rivers Angels are pointless, and they'll be looking to get the first points of the competition, as well as to see if they can advance into the semifinals. This is what the group looks like. Before we let you go, Sam, how is it going to end at the end of today? That's your last word.
Yeah, well, we just hope Rivers Angels could really put up a very great fight back. We know it's never over until it is. And I think for the girls who are also not too unaware of these challenges, they've been there before. And I think we saw how they struggled at the Super 6. They bounced back from a losing start and ended up grounding out victories, 4-0 victories at their various games in Ijebu. They just need a bit of that strong mentality. They need a bit of getting themselves back, getting back in their element. And I believe there's nothing impossible that we've not seen. This football, and again, who says they can't fight to get into the knockout stages? Thankfully, the results in the second round games did them a lot of favor. At least on the other hand, you know, for Viga Queens to have beaten Asfa of Morocco, and I tell you, anything is possible. So for the final game, I believe it's really will be difficult. You also want to expect Sundowns to want to also crumble, just like you saw Hasakas yesterday. They definitely needed to avoid defeat against Wadi Degla, and they ensured that happens. So unfortunately, that sees Wadi Degla out and Hasakas through. So I think it can go either way, but we hope it goes a long way in favor of Rivers Angels.
All right, so Sam, Amadou, thank you once again for your insights on the CAF Women's Champions League. We wish Rivers Angels all the best, and the best will be for them to get a win convincingly against the opponents of Viga, and hope that Mamelodi Sundowns beats Asfa in their own matchup. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great pleasure, Sim.
Cheers, Sam. All right, all the best to Rivers Angels. Let's go on from the Rivers Angels quickly. Or do you want to say one word?
Of course, this talking about still, as we wrap up, talking about the Rivers Angels condition or the situation they found themselves. Yeah. This is a two-pronged situation now. It's whatever happened is still based on the condition that they will need to get their job done. Yes. Then hopefully that Mamelodi defeats. So if that doesn't happen, the result is
won't matter.
And the games are being played same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Anyways,
the situation, it's dire, really.
Yeah, it's a dire situation. All right, we'll leave CAF Women's Champions League and talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, Babafemi Raji, that's the media officer of the Super Eagles, is joining us from Tangier in Morocco to tell us more what's going on today, and also Ighalo, he's finally in camp. Everyone has been looking forward to him coming to camp because he's the comeback eagle, so to speak. But Femi Raju will be telling us more about that. I mean, maybe the reason why he arrived late, because there'll be questions. Why is he just coming now? Is it because he's a big boy or something like that? But obviously, there will be a reason for him to arrive late in camp. Femi, good morning. It's good to have you join us again.
Good morning, Cecilia. How are you doing today?
I'm brilliant. And you?
I'm okay. I'm good. We're fine. Tangier is nice.
Yeah.
We just finished. We're wrapping up breakfast now.
Okay. That's great. So tell us, what's happening this morning and later, and also the arrival of Ighalo to camp. How is it looking like for most of the players there?
Well, the players were all excited to have him. But when he arrived, I was just at the elevator when he got in. And then he met, the first guy he met was actually second. You know, the Watford connection maybe connected them at that point. But I think every other member of the team really happy to have him back. At training yesterday, they all welcomed him. Was a nice feel about it. And fine, people might have wondered why he came just yesterday, because he had a prior appointment back there in Saudi to get his second COVID vaccine jab. So he had an appointment for Wednesday. That was why there was that delay. And normally, if you travel and you don't have a second jab like that, by the time you return to the country, you go into quarantine for 15 days. And nobody will want to take such chances to go into quarantine when they'll be games by the time you get back. So he had to wait for that appointment, for another appointment. So he's fully vaxxed now. So that was the reason. We really got the job. We hopped on the plane and we have Odion here.
So also is John Noble, correct?
Yeah, John Noble came in when we were about to start our evening training session. So John Noble also here. So we've got 24 players in camp right now. 24 players trained yesterday. Although yesterday 22 actually had the deep tactical session, while the new arrivals, that's Odion and John Noble, had special fitness sessions with John Luke, the fitness trainer. But by this morning in the fitness, we had every member of the team. They will be taking part in the fitness. That will go down from 10:45. And then at 12:15, we have a team meeting, our usual team meeting. And then by 1 p.m., there will be lunch. And after lunch at 1 p.m., we will be heading straight for training again at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. because that will be the first time we'll have a feel of the Grand Tangier Stadium where we'll play the game tomorrow. It's the eve of the game. And we'll be training at the training pitch from the Grand Tangier, but we'll have a feel of that. So there'll be a pre-match meeting by 4 p.m. as well. Anyway. And that's when we'll get to know what we wear tomorrow, to put on and everything. But we're good to go. We're set to
good to go.
Good to go. That's what I want to hear. And also, we hope we can score so many goals tomorrow. Yes, we know there's going to be a victory. But how many goals is what we don't know. So we're expecting up to 4, 5, 6, or 7. Okay, Femi Raju, thank you so much for joining us on the program once again.
Yeah, you're welcome to see you. Thanks for having me.
All right, the Liberian team, of course, they've been talking tough. They're playing in Morocco. It's not their home ground, but there's the coach and the player, they just feel that there is something about the Super Eagles, and they feel they can actually, take something out of it, right?
We'll see about that tomorrow. But Liberia, obviously, the underdogs for this game. Jide.
Yep, they are underdogs, but of course, something will always play in their minds, and the fact that Central African Republic came to
Nigeria and Lagos
and got a victory. That is a motivation on its own. But again, I think the choice of Morocco is fantastic for me because it will help some of our players who are based abroad and the quality of the pitch.
The conditions are the same.
The conditions are the same, and they won't. I don't expect to hear
excuses.
Complaints like the pitch wasn't good.
Was too hot.
Nothing. No complaints. Just go there, get the job done.
Get the job done.
That's why I'm excited about the venue.
All right, so let's go ahead now and get pre-game thoughts now from the Liberian camp. We're going to get to listen to the coach, Butler, as well as the captain of the Lone Star.
Got some new lads coming, new players. it's a rebuilding process. Every game's away from home, so we've been dealt a bit of a cruel hand of cards, but we have to deal with it, not make excuses, and just make the most of the situation that we're in. I think the most important thing from our perspective is you're playing for pride and you're playing for your country. You know, we're still playing for points this game. You know, I've got a lot of respect for the Nigerian national team. Ghana has probably the complete opposite problems which I have. He doesn't have funding issues. He can maybe get in a private jet. He has a wonderful array of talent to choose from. But we'll be competitive.
Yes, we came here for victory, and I trust my boss and the coaching staff. They put a lot of work in the players, so we have to work and get a victory for the country.
Can you imagine Liberia beating Nigeria? That'll be some story. Anyways, back to you, Jide. Ighalo is in camp as well to be following the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And you expect him to start, or he's going to have to bide his time on the bench?
I don't really expect him to start. Because he just joined after his colleagues had already put in like
2-3 days
of training. So I wasn't expecting, I would not be expecting him to start. And why must he even start? Of course, in football, you're as good as whatever strategy or tactics that the manager wants to employ for the game. If he feels that Odion should start from the bench, why not? There's no big deal about that. As long as they are working for one purpose, which is to qualify for the World Cup.
And also the fact that he didn't join the camp early.
Because precedence already has been set. I remember there was the last time the goalkeeper, he also came late like that. He had to sit it out, then came in for the night. So I think for...
Straightforward decision. Ighalo on the bench.
I don't think.
That's what he feels. Okay. I think, and the fact that he just, took his last jab, the second dose and all of it. No. Okay. Let's take a look at fixtures for today. There's a Qatar World Cup qualifiers. Africa, you have Group A, Burkina Faso and Niger Republic will be in action. Djibouti and Algeria will also be in action in Group A. Other games for today will include Gabon and Libya and Angola and Egypt will also be in action in that order. Yes, there's some other group. Group I, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau will be in action. Sudan and Morocco will complete the games for today. And of course, for Saturday, starting with Group B, Zambia and Mauritania, Equatorial Guinea and Tunisia will be in action. And move over to Nigeria's group, which is Group C, Cape Verde and Central African Republic. You have Liberia and Nigeria, the game that will be played in Morocco. Neutral ground for both teams.
Indeed. So let's just tell you that Mali have become the third country from Africa to qualify for the final phase of qualification for the Qatar World Cup, joining the likes of Senegal and Morocco. Nigeria will be hoping to be
join them.
Yeah, maybe they can actually. They win their game and
they can.
And what happens?
And the other one will be a draw or a loss. Malawi, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire and Mozambique complete the games for Group D. Why the one everyone is anticipating, South Africa and Ghana, you'll be slugging it out on a Sunday. And South Africa just in the draw.
Yeah, South Africa 3 points clear. So Ghana are condemned to winning that game.
Why South Africa just need a point?
They need to win at home.
And South Africa just a point. For them to get it. It will be hard not to have Ghana. Okay. But
I think yeah. But I feel that we should get through. We should just get done with this particular group and know, because it's going to still it's going to matter, because going into the next phase will be the Nations Cup will also be critical to the last draw that will be made, because most of these teams that will definitely progress into the next round are going to be playing at the Nations Cup. So whatever you make out of your Nations Cup will show whether you are going to be ranked. There are some teams that will be ranked higher than, so already those are the ones that it's definitely going to be, when the draw is done, it's going to be the top teams against. So I just hope that we can do well, qualify for this. That's for Nigeria as well as gets fantastic results at the Nations Cup.
You know, we just don't have a choice. That's the thing. Because we're Nigerians, right?
We don't have a choice.
Let's talk about the team that have already qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, but that's going to be after this break. We need to go on this last break for the show, and we'll come back. We're going to be telling you all about how Brazil, the Samba boys, qualified from CONMEBOL. They've done it in style, dancing into the World Cup in Qatar. Join us again. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Let's go to Brazil, Sao Paulo, to be precise, where the Samba boys took on the opponents against Colombia in that game, and that's how they were able to qualify for the World Cup with a few number of games to spare. Lucas Paqueta scored the vital goal in the 72nd minute to earn Brazil all 3 points, and as a result of that results, they lead the 10-team South American group with 34 points from 12 games, 9 clear of second place Argentina. We all know in South America, the top 4 teams will qualify automatically, while the 5th will go into an inter-regional playoffs. A lot of credit has to be given to this guy, Tite. Ever since becoming the Brazil coach, they've gone from strength to strength. The result yesterday means they've extended their home run in the qualifiers to 11 consecutive victories, which is a record in the South American region. The game also marked their 10th consecutive home qualifier without conceding a goal, which is another record. Jide, Brazil looking good.
Yeah, always looking good until they get to the main tournament. but that's good. No surprise, because you would expect them
to qualify.
Aside from 1 or 2 past events where that really made it struggle, and that really made people focus on CONMEBOL that they wanted to know. But definitely they will qualify exactly. But that would never happen, at least not in this particular time that we have. But they've got the talent to do that. And of course, Tite, we must give kudos to, honorable mention to Tite, who's been doing a great job. And I know the pressure will now be at the tournament, because if they had qualified this early, a lot of expectations trust their passion will begin to burn. They want to see what they can do.
Win a 6th World Cup.
They begin to create it's coming home version of the Brazilians. Is it going to come home again after how many years now? So I think that's the next phase they will be looking forward to make sure to make impact and to probably win it, because they will be reminding the manager that you see the array of talents that you have. Most of them are doing fantastic in their various clubs right now.
All right, so Brazil through to the World Cup in Qatar with quite a number of games are still to be played. Before we go, Muma, let's just quickly talk about updates coming from Argentina camp as well. So Lionel Messi has been passed fit for their game against Uruguay. Of course, Messi missed out on PSG's game on November the 2nd because of injury. So it's a bit of a surprise to see him fit for Argentina. But the South Americans, they don't play when it comes to the World Cup in their countries. They always want to play.
At least for him to have returned to, And there's another motivation. The last time they won their Copa America, it's something that, of course, will definitely ginger the likes of Messi. Messi, there are a lot of things working on right now that will serve as motivation for the likes of Messi to want to play. The last World Cup, it was woeful for them. It was an abysmal performance. They didn't, meet the expectation of the people. They had problems. They remember there was so much pressure on the manager. They fired the manager immediately after the World Cup. There were a lot of expectation that Messi, maybe the it could be a one-man squad. And after that, they are gradually stabilizing sort of with the Copa America triumph and all that. And that means that, and I learned also that there was even a clause that he signed with PSG that whenever there is time to play for the national team, he won't hesitate, he must be there.
No one is stopping Messi from playing
the story of someone who had to come back after retiring from the national. So that shows there is a motivation.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's quickly leave South America and World Cup qualifiers on Qatar 2022, talking about Steven Gerrard. Steven G is coming back to England.
Steven G.
And the story now is, was it
Aston Villa's new manager?
Was it a bad move? But then, that's the picture right there. Aston Villa new manager. Yes, that's Steven Gerrard. He's 41, Dean Smith, who actually helped them so much. But then they feel, okay, you're 16, it's not good enough for us. We can be better. And they went for Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard, remember, played for Liverpool, how many, 7 or something appearances, winning
absolute
about 9
legend
titles
for the club.
with the club.
Talismanic captain.
I mean, 114 camps with England. It's a whole lot when it comes to playing. And also coaching career. They had to displace Celtics after a decade of, you know, dominance and everything. But then, it's a good decision.
So this is a risky move for both parties, for Gerrard and for Aston Villa, right?
Yeah, it's a risky. Life is about risk anyway. So if you don't take that move, you wouldn't know whether it will come out good or not. So the best thing, he has taken the move by resigning from certainty to uncertainty now. Also, talking about on the part of Aston Villa too, they once had a manager who actually took them to 11th position and was able to. He had for at least their season. Last season was
decent, yeah. But they lost 5 in a row, and that's why they decided to sack him.
But I don't understand. But it's not only Aston Villa; it's with other teams. And about 5 of those the Premiership teams have fired their managers. That's about 25% of the teams in the Premiership.
It's not to 5 years, but 3 now, gone.
No, 5. Watford, don't forget, this season I'm talking, Watford fired their manager too, brought in Claudio Ranieri, Tottenham fired Aston Villa.
And Smith
you know, there are a lot of the Conte, that was before they brought in Conte. So 5 of them that I know that have fired this season alone. So don't forget Norwich too, fired Falcao after winning his first game. So,
anyways.
So this is what he has to say. He says Aston Villa is a club with a rich history and tradition in English football, and I am immensely proud to become its new head coach. In my conversations with Nassef West and the rest of the board, it was apparent how ambitious their plans are for the club, and I'm looking forward to helping them achieve their aims. Hopefully, he can do that. What's the aim?
To stay in the division, I guess, for the season, right? Because
stay in the division. No, if it's to stay in the division, I think Dean Smith wasn't doing so bad.
They lost 5 in a row. They were looking.
They can bounce back because they have some injuries.
Nobody wants to.
They've got some injuries. I mean, if those players return,
staying in that division
it is so important.
Very important. Even not after just coming out of the pandemic.
Exactly. You want to go down.
I don't think Dean Smith would have taken Aston Villa to
Cecilia, the reason they sacked Dean Smith was because they got worried.
Yes,
they pressed the panic button 5 in a row. That's a lot.
They've got injured players, right?
What does that got to do with anything? What does that got to do with anything?
Well, let's see what Steven Gerrard can do. But I don't think Steven Gerrard will take them into top 10 if that's what they want.
If he doesn't take them into top 10, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
But we need to also think, have they spent the money they collected by selling Grealish? So they could go by January. Yeah, maybe they could fortify the team in January, recruit. But I feel that like he said, ambition, what does it mean? To better the last
top 10 results. Finish.
Top 10.
We'll
yeah, that's what they aim at. Well, let's listen to Gareth Southgate right quickly. Yeah. You know what he has to say concerning Steven Gerrard returning to the Premier League as a coach. Great opportunity for Steven Gerrard. We'll see what he will be able to do with Aston Villa. And people have been saying maybe this job is more like a training ground for him to be fit to take over Liverpool when...
Oh, come on, guys. Come on, he's got a very tough job.
They should face this job, bro.
Exactly.
They should focus on the job that is at hand. They should forget about Liverpool now. Because that is a different story. Let him get the job done at Aston Villa.
But Steven Gerrard as a player, we all know. Great player. I mean, talismanic captain for Liverpool then. But as a coach, he started very well as well.
Very well, yeah. So it's good.
Ibrox.
Lampard also was showing some promises until he took the Chelsea job. Don't forget.
And right now he's out of job, right?
Okay, so yeah, but I mean, Lampard was showing promises. We're talking of a guy who's ended the dominance of Celtic and winning number 55 for them, so he knows how to win. And they ended the season unbeaten as well too. So that's a leader, right?
He auditioned for. We can't take out the fact that he auditioned for this job by what he did in Rangers. So
exactly.
That's pretty good. Let him face Aston Villa job. Let him get a decent result. Keep them in the Premiership. and first, then we can start the conversation after.
Yeah, let's see if he survives this season first, and then after that, we'll know what's going to happen.
One season at a time.
You know,
exactly. Let's forget about Liverpool. Klopp is not going anywhere soon, so I don't know who's talking about Liverpool.
More like it. I mean, he's been talked. I remember when Liverpool were having some kind of bad results, and people started trading names and everything and all that. But then,
come on.
Okay, let's see what's going to happen in this one. Jide, thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's always a pleasure to be.
Appreciate your time. Thank you all for watching as well. Have a fantastic day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Omongbe. Have a great weekend.